So, I think it's pretty safe to say that Tears of the Kingdom has been at the forefront of every Nintendo fan's to-do list for like the last 2 months. I know it's been in front of my to-do list. And with Pikmin 4 having just released, we have been eating really well as Nintendo fans. But in between the Zelda, the Men, and all the goodies that we got at last month's Direct, Mario Kart Wave 5 kind of fell under the radar. I mean, to be a Nintendo fan for the last few months has actually felt really good. Instead of looking forward to new Mario Kart tracks, we now have actual games to look forward to. I'll be honest, I wasn't too overhyped for Wave 5. I mean, Wave 4 was really good, and it felt like more in the middle of the booster course, whereas Wave 5 kind of feels like the beginning of the end. And even after all the tracks were shown off, I wasn't too sold on it. However, having spent about a week and a half with it playing the courses over and over again, I can safely say that it is a very solid and very good wave that we've gotten for Wave 5. And I would even go as far as say it could potentially rival Wave 4 as being the best wave we've gotten so far. I think we all know by this point that one of the main driving forces behind the booster course's whole existence is Mario Kart Tour. Waves 1 selections were cool because they were new and unique at the time, but as Waves 2 and 3 came out, they grew stale very, very quickly. As many of you know, I and many others felt as though Waves 4 Tour selection was the best we've gotten out of any wave so far, and Wave 5 seemed to take that even further. If there's one thing I can say definitively is that Wave 5 has the best Tour selection out of any wave so far. Out of all three, Vancouver Velocity is definitely the weakest, but by a very slim margin. Out of all three, it's the best looking Tour track and is really fun to play. Its only downside is that it's somewhat similar to other Tour courses, but not really by that much. Also, this has to be said, but it probably would have worked better in the winter-December wave rather than the summer-July wave. Los Angeles Laps, on the other hand, is a course that should totally belong in the summer-July wave and feels straight out of Mario Kart 7 with the 3 consecutive laps taking you through the different parts of LA. Honestly, what I find so cool about this course is the fact that it could easily have been a part of a regular Mario Kart game without the LA branding. It's very unique, but also feels like something they may have put in a regular course in a new Mario Kart game. Hell, 3 separate courses. And of course, Athens Dash, which is probably my favorite tour course of this wave. It's just different from every other tour course we've gotten, and me being a huge history buff really makes me appreciate all the Greek ruins, even if they have some simple ass textures. As I've said before, Mario Kart Super Circuit for the GBA is the only game that I've never owned or played. So for all the returning courses from that game, they're all basically brand new to me. But going by the upload that every Super Circuit course has gotten so far, they're basically new courses for those who have played them as well. Apparently Sunset Wilds was supposed to have a day and night cycle that would cycle through the entire race, but the sunset that they chose really does set the right mood for the course. I am a little disappointed though that the Shy Guys don't jump on the back of your cart, but this little dance that they do, it works. Like Riverside Park in the last wave, it's a very simple layout, but hands down is one of the best looking courses in the wave. It seems that as of this year, and especially for the last 2 waves, Nintendo has opted to give the more complex tracks a bit more of a simpler design texture-wise, while giving the GBA courses, which are more simpler in design, more detailed textures. Look, I get the trade-off, and honestly, in practice, for the last 2 waves, it's worked out pretty well. Last wave was the first wave to give us a completely brand new course, which I won't deny kinda takes away the magic of this course just a little bit. However, compared to that course, this one is completely unique and isn't reliant on another Nintendo property or Mario location. The amount of detail in this course is downright astounding, and for some reason it reminds me of those old Minecraft dropper map videos you'd find on YouTube back in the day. I do like pretty straightforward tracks in Mario Kart, but I also don't mind tracks with tons of different routes. It feels like when you play these maps, you find something new and different each time, and with this course there is so much to explore. Yoshi's Island was cool because it was lengthy and it had a lot of substance, but in hindsight it was very, very straightforward. Squeaky Clean Sprint is a lot shorter but packed full of little hidden routes, which makes it so much more immersive. Along with that, this wave brought back 3 really cool characters: PD Piranha from Double Dash, Wiggler from Mario Kart 7, and Kamek from Tour. I'll be honest, I don't really give a shit about PD Piranha. Hell, I haven't played as him yet, Kamek is cool based solely on his history of being that one cut and left out character from the Mario Kart franchise, and for such a core member of the Mario cast, it feels right that he's finally here in a mainline title. And of course, my personal favorite, Wiggler. I did not think this was going to happen, but god damn, am I so happy it did.
Look, I'm not sure many of you are familiar with my past with Mario Kart, but Mario Kart 7 was the first game that I had that was completely my own, and Wiggler was one of the unlockable characters in that game. It's also one of the stupidest shit characters, which I like those characters. I really do.
I've never been a huge fan of Daisy Cruiser as a course. It's not that I don't like the course, it's just that I find the course layout to be not that interesting.
This much above Baby Park.
I played this course a lot back on Mario Kart 7, and honestly, not much has changed. However, it might just be me, but this course feels a lot tighter than I remember it, which does add to it a little bit. The other major change is that there are now people in the dining hall rather than it just being empty, which is nice that they were finally able to do that.
I have no problem with Daisy Cruiser being included as part of Wave 5. I mean, it has enough fan support to warrant its inclusion, but the fact that we've only had 2 GameCube tracks by Wave 5 is kinda weird and kind of insulting. Hopefully by Wave 6 we'll get 2 additional GameCube tracks to kind of fix this, and god damn it, one of them better be DK fucking right!
I think out of all Mario Kart games, Mario Kart Wii has the most iconic tracks. Each wave has made sure to have at least one of these icons. It makes sense because Mario Kart Wii is the best-selling game in the series behind 8 Deluxe. 8 Deluxe already had some Wii tracks, but to be fair, I'd say the most recognizable would be either Moo Moo Meadows or Wario's Gold Mine. Not bad picks, but compared to getting Coconut Mall, Mushroom Gorge, and Maple Treeway, it kinda pales in comparison. Last wave's DK Summit was a nice treat, but is never one I immediately think of when I think Mario Kart Wii. And given the lineup pre-Wave 5, the only iconic course I would say is missing out of the whole entire game is Koopa Cape. This track is my childhood, and is probably the most iconic Mario Kart track in the entirety of the series for me. Playing this track again brings back so many memories, but probably the funniest for me is the regression of the water section. See, in its original state on Wii, the section was completely protected from the outside sea. When they brought it back for Mario Kart 7, it was still a glass tube, but completely submerged underwater, kinda defeating the purpose. Now, having been brought back for the Mario Kart 8 Booster course, they completely cut the tube in half, which is a little strange, but considering the fact that there are now half pipes down there, kinda makes up for it. Also, another side note, every time you go down the tube now, it feels like you're overshooting it a bit. Might just be me, but I feel like every time I go through this thing, I'm well overshooting it. But probably the biggest surprise of the wave for me was the return of Moonview Highway, a course that I had completely forgotten about. There used to be this old trope in 2000s Mario Kart games of highways and busy roads as courses. It started with Toad's Turnpike on N64 and included courses like Mushroom Bridge, Mushroom City, Shroom Ridge, and Moonview Highway. I think the most interesting thing about Mushroom Bridge, City, and Moonview Highway was the fact that they all felt like they were right near each other in the same city. This course is amazing and looks really, really good. It was a pretty obscure course to bring back from the Wii, but I am so glad that it returned as a part of Wave 5. I'll be honest, when it came to Wave 5, I was a bit nervous at first. Wave 4 was really good, and as much as I believed that level of quality would be maintained, I did have some doubts. But overall, I would say that this wave was even better than Wave 4. All of the tour tracks were amazing, and all the returning ones were amazing as well. On top of that, add another new amazing course, and 3 fan favorite characters returning, and I would say that this is a very solid addition to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster course.
Out of everything in Wave 5, there aren't too many downsides. I'd say the main downside for me is the fact that it feels like the booster course is, well, just about over.